Okay, hi. So today we have Amar Ramesh with us. Now we've come up with Madras and Margazhi, an incredible and beautiful shoot come up with 50 artists in 50 iconic locations that's displayed outside the Nardagana Sabha. We're here to discuss about that today. Hi Amar, we're so happy to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So why don't you start with telling us a few words about yourself?
Nice. See, I'm a Chennai boy, born and brought up in Chennai. Love the city, and as a teenager and as somebody who went to college and all that, I got fascinated about the Western world. ஸோ இங்கே நம்மளுக்கு எப்போவுமே இந்த ரெண்டு ஆப்ஷன் கொடுப்பாங்க இல்லையா, இன்ஜினியர் ஒரு டாக்டர். ஸோ ஐ பிகேம் an engineer. Did really well with studies. So grew up in a family where education is important. Education now is a ticket to the freedom, financial freedom. So education was very very important. So engineering padichache, then what next? So appo I studied in Satyabama Engineering College. So only two options: either part of the class goes to US, finishing GRE, and part of the class goes to campus interview.
Yeah.
So I decided to do GRE. I went to US to do my masters. I finished my masters there. I was always studious. I did really well in study, and then got a job, found a job, and I was working there for almost 8 years.
Okay.
So in those 8 years, my job was a very traveling job. So I traveled a lot in US. So அதுக்காக I picked up a camera, and then that became a hobby, and hobby became passion became profession now. So now I'm back in India for the last 14 years doing what I love to do, and that is my quick synopsis.
That's nice. Looks like it goes a long way, and your storytelling starts there,
Yeah.
along with your photographs.
Yeah.
So we see that you have a very strong connection with storytelling with all of your photographs. Like every picture you take has a narrative behind it, and it has a story that comes out of it. So what inspires you to come up with something like that?
See, I personally don't believe that. I personally believe it's more than storytelling. It's partly, uh, you know, that empathy towards the subject that I'm shooting, and the love towards what I'm doing, and also a grace from the universe. So it's I don't see it as storytelling. I don't see it as oh, we have to bring in some revolution, or we have to bring in some story into it. I just see I want to do something really unique that not many people are doing, and in that thing, how do I connect with the subject? How do I empathize with the subject? How do I it's more like a very meditative process for me. It's like becoming one with the world, one with that subject, one with that moment. So that is how I see my art. When you see it, you might see it as a storytelling thing. For me, it is that oneness. For me, it's that grace. That is how I see my work.
Okay. So being a part of that art, has it changed your perspective towards things?
Totally, it happens to any artist, no? Actors become the character itself in their lives. So, for me, photography is more than art, more than profession, more than anything that I do. It's not my work. It's not the profession I do. It's not a business I do. I crazily love picking up the camera and seeing through the viewfinder. So I would do it on days that I'm tired. I would do it on days that nobody's paying me. I would do it on days if no one is watching me or praising me. I would just do it. It just takes me to a different world. That world is only me and the viewfinder, and the subject, right? And I forget what's happening in my world. I forget who is fighting with me or torturing me, or who is I forget everything. It's me, the viewfinder, and the world. So I would want to do a day in and day out, any day, anytime, and I want to get better at it, and that is the pursuit I am in.
That's nice. So, like, we've seen your recent work with Margali and Madras, and that is something that's very, very, very connected to the place and the season and the entire thing, summing it up all together. So, what sparked the initial idea to come up with something like that?
So if you see all my work, right, like all the works that I do, the core is only one thing: celebrating our home, right? We have some amazing things in our country that very few people know about it. Even few things that we have in Chennai, people in Kanchipuram don't know about it.
Yeah.
Chennai and Kanchipuram is just 60-70 kilometers, right? Things we have in Tamil Nadu, people in Telangana don't have a clue about it. If not for Kantara, nobody knew about Theyyam, right? But Theyyam has been there for thousands of years, right? So there are so many things in our backyard that are amazing, that has amazing history, that has amazing art in it, that has amazing design in it, that is amazing science in it. There's so many things, but we don't celebrate it. So the core of my work is to celebrate everything. So in December I picked up Margali, classical music. I've shot a lot of classical dancers, folk artists. Terukuthu is my main, like very main subject. I've shot Chettinad, I've shoot temples. I've shot I've released a book on Pudu Mandapam, which is a mandapam in Madurai. So if you think about it, the core is, we have stories, amazing stories, we have amazing things in our own land. Let's celebrate them instead of being fascinated about other things,
the culture that's
outside the world. Let's be fascinated about our own homes, and package that and show it to the world in a nice way, and in a grand way, right? Carnatic music is there for ages now, and these musicians are like great artists who are almost like an athlete, like an Olympic athlete, Mari, or they practice from the young age. They do so much of work, and then they do go perform, right, like an athlete. So or athletic their parents are coming and helping them. Here also for the musician, the parents sacrifice their life. One of the parents, behind all these musicians, one of the parents has sacrificed their life. So I see a lot of parallels between sports and this, right? So why do we only celebrate sports heroes, right? Like they're also heroes. So on the idea, that idea was constantly in my mind. How do we show them as heroes? So I thought, okay, we have Nardagana Sabha. The Sabha is where all the Carnatic music is happening. Okay, let's put codings in on the Sabhas. In fact, I want to do it in all the Sabhas, right? Huge hoardings of pictures. In fact, in Nardagana Sabha also, I wanted to do big ones, just 4 or 5, but I cannot accommodate more people.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let's just do smaller portraits, and so I could accommodate like 15 of them instead of just 4 or 5. Just imagine how it would have been to do like huge 4 posters. So take our things from home and package it, show to the world in a very grand and a nice way. So the world will turn and take notice of it, and there will be conversation that will start. So that is the core of my work, and one of the ideas was Madras Margazhi.
That's nice. So coming up with all these artists together in like different iconic locations, not ordinary locations, but iconic locations of Chennai. How was that? Like, how did you connect with the artist and the location? What made you assemble them together?
See, initially, I'll be very honest with you. Initially, I started by saying, okay, I'll talk to the artist and find a connection with them to the location and all that. But eventually, it became tougher because I was running out of places where I have permissions, and also it was complicating stuffs. And if I was only doing this one project for 2 months, then I could have done so many things with it. But this project is happening in between so many other things, and they are also busy in their season. So we have to match so many
Everything
different things, right? So for we try to match things of their own interest to people, but sometimes it matched, sometimes it did. But the idea was to not complicate it and get deeper into
The subject.
subject and complicate it. Rather, bring two things together: amazing musicians, iconic locations. Put them together and get the portraits done. That was the idea.
That's nice. So, talking to all these artists, it should have been like, I mean, every artist would have had their own perspective, stories to tell, which you've all combined together as a book as well.
Yeah, see, I always tell my photographs are just a bonus, right? The actual thing that I got out of this is the amazing conversation that I had with the artist. Their getting to know their philosophies, getting to know what they stand for, and also getting a personal concert with them, right? Right in front of me, without any disturbance, without any people, without anybody. I had like a one-on-one concert happening for me. That was the best thing about this project. I'm telling you, see, I am not a huge like Carnatic music fan and all. Like, I love it. I love to listen to it, and even I only connect to very few of the songs and few of the things, and I don't know anything about the ragas or anything, right? But the power of music, what music could do to you, I really felt through this project, because I was unadulteratedly listening to the music. There were instances where I really felt my heart is actually melting down. I'm not exaggerating at all. The voice, the sound, the music, everything was so nice. I really felt it's like just melting down my ribs. So that was the biggest, thing for me through this project. All the photographs and other things are just outcomes.
So, with this experience of traveling with all these talented artists, was there a point where you felt like you wanted to be an artist?
Definitely, that is one thing I always felt. I had a music teacher just below our apartment, and there was I lived in an apartment where the floor under us, there was a music teacher. So every day it was like சாரி கமா அந்த மாதிரி பாடிட்டே இருப்பாங்க. அப்போ வந்து சின்ன வயசில் வந்து அது வந்து எனக்கு வந்து ஆக்சுவலி வந்து என்னோடய படிப்பு டைமுக்கு அதுக்கெல்லாம் வந்து டிஸ்டர்பன்ஸாக தான் நான் பார்த்தேன், அன்ஃபார்ச்சுனேட்லி. ஒன்லி நவ் ஐ ரியலைஸ், ஓ ஷிட், நானும் போய் உட்காந்து கற்றுக்கலாமே, அதாவது கொஞ்சமாவது வந்து அந்த நாலேஜோட இப்போ நான் ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்திருந்தேன்னா இட் வுட் ஹவ் பீன் அமேசிங். ஸோ தட் ரிக்ரெட் இஸ் தேர், பட் ஐம் ஹாப்பி பீயிங் அ ஃபோட்டோகிராஃபர்.
That's nice. So, when you spoke about the coffee table book that you had come up with Margali and Madras, you said that it was a collection of portraits. And what would you think the other people who see it would have a takeaway from this?
See, I always think exponentially. I don't think linearly. If I'm doing something, through that many things should happen, not only one thing or two things, right? So if you tell me this Margali, the Madras Margazhi series, it's like ஒரு வேலை பண்ணோன்னா ஒரு கல் அடிச்சோன்னா ஒரு மாங்கல்ல, ஒரு கல்ல ரெண்டு மாங்கல்ல, ஒரு கல்ல வந்து மாங்காய் தோப்பி அடிக்கணும். அதுதான் வந்து that is how I think. So first thing is, see, all these artists deserve portraits. Do we all agree?
Totally.
Right?
Yes.
Because they have given their lives to this art form, and then as Rasikas, we have loved, listened, taken it in, and profited out of it. ரைட். இப்போ ஒரு மூடு சரியில்லைன்னா அந்த ஒரு பாட்டு கேட்கும்போது அந்த மூடு சரியாயிடுது இல்லையா, அப்போல்லாம் வந்து இட்ஸ் லைக் தெரப்பியில் நம்ம தெரப்பிக்கு வந்து பே பண்ணி தானே பண்ணுறோம். ஸோ வி ஹவ் ஆல் ப்ராஃபிட் அவுட் ஆஃப் தெம், ரைட். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் த வே ஐ கேன் கிவ் பேக் டு தெம், ரைட். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஒருத்தரும் நினச்சேன்னா ஏதாவது பண்ணலாம். ஸோ ஃபஸ்ட்டு வந்து ஓகே, these are people who deserve portraits and they need portraits. But the entire photography community, if you think about it, they're all behind, Instagram numbers, social media influencers, models. இவங்கள போய் ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்தோம்னா எப்படி பாப்புலர் ஆகிடலாம், இத்தனை லைக்ஸ் வரும், அந்த மாதிரி வந்து the entire photography community is like that. So I wanted to tell them, hey, no, you can do so many other things. There are so many other community people who need photographs. Like நேபாளிலேருந்து எத்தனை வாட்ச்மேன் நம்ம பார்க்குறோம் டெய்லியும், அவங்களுக்குலாம் வந்து ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்து கொடுக்கணும் இல்லையா. அவங்க ஃபேமிலிஸ் எல்லாம் விட்டுட்டு நம்மளுக்கு செக்யூரிட்டி கார்ட்ஸாக இருக்காங்க, அவங்களுக்கு ஃபோட்டோஸ் எடுத்து போகணும். எத்தனை ஐபிஎஸ் ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ், ஐஏஎஸ் ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ் ஒர்க்கிங் ஃபார் அஸ், தே நீட் ஃபோட்டோகிராஃப்ஸ். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய கம்யூனிட்டி ஆஃப் பீப்புள் who deserve photographs are not having photographs. So I want to inspire photography community through this work to do things other than the usual thing, right? Don't do the same thing, it's so boring and there's no use for anybody, right? Then as I said, take our Indian thing, package it to the world. இப்போ வந்து when you step down to a airport in Charlotte or airport in in the south in US, they're celebrating their musicians. Like when you get down from the Chennai airport, Decemberல வந்து there should be like ஒரு பெரிய portrait of Tyagaraja or Dikshidhar. There should be a big portrait, no, and talking about what Carnatic music is. அது இருக்கணும். அட்லீஸ்ட் இஃப் நாட் எனிதிங் ஒரு இளையராஜா போட்டுட்டாவது இருக்கணும்ல. We have all celebrated him, we have all gained from him.
Yes.
So that is the thing. இப்போ வந்து எப்படி ஒரு ரே சார்ல்ஸோ இல்லை வந்து எல்விஸ் இதை வந்து எவ்வளோ செலிப்ரேட் பண்ணுறாங்க வெஸ்டர்ன் கண்ட்ரிலலாம் எடுத்து. ஸோ அதே நம்பர் ஆஃப் திங்ஸை வந்து இங்கே வந்து தேர் செல்லிங் so many tracks. அதே ரெக்கார்டை வந்து பிரேக் பண்ணுறாங்க நிறைய மியூசிஷியன்ஸ் இன் ஆர் கண்ட்ரி, பட் வி டோன்ட் செலிப்ரேட் தெம். ஸோ through this portrait series we are also celebrating them. அது இல்லாமல் then see, if you come to photography, we are all becoming one picture wonders. Take one picture, put it on Instagram and become wonders. So that is not what photography is. Photography is you work on some stories, you work on some subjects, you work on a project for some time. So if I shot 50 portraits now, it's like 50 days of shoot.
True.
Right? So 50 days of waking up and getting somebody ready, going there and shooting. So work on projects like this, right? So I wanted to inspire people. So I have multiple things that I wanted to make through this project. And whatever project I select is also something like that. What all I can do in multiple areas and with multiple people. So that is how this project came up.
Yes. So we've seen you come up with, like you said, inspiring people and all of that. You have done a lot of work with Chettinad things and like going to places like Madurai and all of that. So all of this is out on social media, and that's where the younger generation or the people who are stepping into this generation, that's how they see tradition. That's the vision that they have of tradition. So, and with something like Madras and Margazhi, do you think that this is a pass on to generation or to the people who have not seen or heard about it? Because it is not surprising, it's like a surpassing thing in today's generation. Like people look more at something like jazz or pop or things like that with regard to Carnatic music and all of that. But whereas this is the root of everything is what we have learned from. So, inspiring the next generation to come, how is it your take on that?
So, see, all my work, like Chettinad facades, so the facades that I put in my book, they won't exist 20 years from now. If you walk in Karaikudi or Chettinad area with my book, many of the facade will be down, it will be destroyed, right? So what will exist is this book, and people will take inspiration from this book, and maybe they will build houses with the elements in the facade. So that is how I'm taking it to the next generation. A book, my Pudumandapam book has so many inspirations for motifs designs, jewels designs, you know so any people who have who want to get inspired in design, Indian design and all that, just spend some hours with that book, they'll be inspired. I'm working on a book on Jamakalam. It has the history, not only the history but also the technical specs of Jamakalam. A person who's sitting in San Francisco can read that book and start weaving Jamakalam from San Francisco, right? They don't have to come to Bhavani and sit and do it. So like I said, the core of my work is to package things to the modern world, to the next generation, and make it documented for posterity. So even if Jamakalam, the art form of Jamakalam, dies in a few years, somewhere somebody in the future will pick up that book and can weave a Jamakalam. So that is how I see it. So அது மாதிரி பார்த்தோன்னா இப்போ வந்து கர்நாடிக் மியூசிக் வந்து yes, there is a world. In that world there are so many rasikas and all that, but அந்த வேர்ல்டை வந்து எப்படி இன்னும் விரிவுபடுத்துறது, like how do I make that world a little bigger through my work? How do I take it to places where it is generally not taken? Right, so we have also taken these portraits and hung in the Basque coffee shop, where most of the younger generations and HNIs of Chennai stop by, right? So they will take a look at it, they will start a conversation about it, they will get inspired to do something with their kids, they will maybe listen one or two tracks in their cars or in their homes. So that is how things will, it's almost like a branding exercise.
Yes.
So I am doing my part in branding the Carnatic music.
That's nice. So as someone who has captured so many traditions, culture and all of that through your lenses, in the coming years, what do you think the role of art would play with the same story?
See, you have to understand, the entire world is tired of listening to Western stories now. Right, we have heard enough of Western stories. Now we want to listen to our stories.
The story of old, the saying of old is gold is coming back.
Yeah, and in fact, our old is actually the most modern also. Just we don't realize it, right? So நம்ம கோயில்லாம் the way our temples are built now, we cannot build structures like that. So it is, so they were advanced then what we are today, right?
Yeah.
They were advanced than what we are today. So so there's so much of learnings from it. It's just that we were not looking at that side. Now we are starting to look at that side, right? And more people should look at that side, will look at that side, because that is how the world is changing now, right? So அதுக்கு வந்து என்னால் as a photographer, what can I do to help people look at our stories is what I'm doing.
Nice. So if we're talking about Margazhi and Mylapore being the place of it, what is the connection that you have with Mylapore, and like how does it all pack things up together for you?
See, Mylapore is a universe if you think about it. It's not like a constituency, it's not a small place, it's not like a small town, it's a universe. It has everything, right? We are sitting in a building which is 120 years old. We are walking on a street which still holds the character of thousands of years, right? When you walk in Mylapore, this is what you feel. You won't get this feeling when you're walking in like Adamagam or somewhere else, right? Or the new OMRs and all that.
Yeah.
When you walk here, you actually feel, oh, இதோ ஒரு பழைய படத்துல நடந்து போற மாதிரி ஒரு ஃபீலிங் இருக்கு. So it's a universe. It has everything, modernity, tradition, antiquity, எல்லாமே இருக்கு. So, and I live here. I've been living here for the last 12 years. So I love this place. As a photographer and as an artist, see, if I want to go out do something in the world, first do what I can do for my place. right? So so that is what I'm doing. And and it also is the capital for Carnatic music. So எல்லாத்தையும் எப்படி எடுத்துட்டு வரலாம், எல்லாத்தையுமே வந்து, like I said, I'm not like a linear thinker. I think exponentially. Can we bring everything together and do something? So that is how in fact, the first name that I had for this project is Madras Mylapore, or Mylapore Music and Margazhi. That is what I added. Then I changed it to Madras and Margazhi. So I wanted to celebrate Mylapore, celebrate Chennai, and I wanted to celebrate Carnatic. That is how this came in.
Okay. So we've seen in the shoot, like, you have picked up iconic places, and Mylapore has been a part of
so many of them are in Mylapore, right?
Yes. So how did you like manage to package them all, connect it with the artist on the next level, so that the place and the person would feel closer? And how did you build that narrative there?
See, I can say so many things, right? Which will be a great answer for this question, but I keep it very simple. Don't complicate it. If I complicate my work, I will only not do the work. Right? I kept it very, very simple. So see, Chennai is a city that is transforming so drastically. In the last 2-3 years, have you noticed how many buildings we have lost, how many trees we have lost, how many old trees, beautiful things we have lost in the city? So it's transforming at a pace that we can't keep up with, right? So I wanted to bring in some old iconic structures. Anga pona indha nyabagam irukum andha mari vanda I wanted to bring all these old structures and then put the artist to there. And these artists have a charm. I like to tell you, all these people have a charm. They have that
the aura that they carry.
Aura வந்து எப்படின்னா வந்து ஒரு divine, or art is a divine thing, no? And they have spent so many years in that divinity, right? And so they have this charm around that. So take that charm and put it with this old charm of Chennai together. Just, it was amazing. And guys, I can't put that in words or even through photographs of mine, because I was listening to them at those places. Like ஒரு கோலம் பீச் இதில் வந்து ரித்விக் பாடும்போது, இல்லை வந்து between those fishing nets, Vishnudev was singing. Sumesh was playing in front of one old chowl tree opposite to Central Station, and the place was very dirty, but the music was amazing too. The Mridangamlandu vara sound was amazing in the early morning, with people walking, bus going. It was just mind-blowingly good. So இந்த charm வந்து எப்படி கனெக்ட் பண்ணுறதுன்றது தான் வந்து இந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட். ஸோ அப்படி வந்து தான் இது.
That's nice. So through this entire process, your history and your connection with the place and the art itself should have gone more. And what was your favorite memory that you have of this?
The biggest thing out of this project is the learnings that I got from each of the artists. Yeah, they're all very senior artists. They've been doing this for so many years. Like, I am in my art only for like 13-14 years. So I consider myself like a just college goer in that, right? But these people are like, they've done PhDs and gone forward, right? Like many more years than that. So it's like when you're talking to a good teacher or a good artist, it's like browsing through 10 or 15 books in a library, right? They encapsulate their entire experience and put that in like a few minutes to you. அதனால தான் ஒரு காலேஜ் போய் படிக்கிறது வந்து ஒரு நல்ல டீச்சர் கிட்ட ஒரு 2 days படிச்சிடலாம். So talking to them, getting to know about their philosophy and experience was a huge learning for me. நிறைய pointers was a huge learning for me. And also those learnings, immediately I could put or relate with my art form. Although it's music and photography, so many things that they were saying were relating to my art.
Your view on art.
Yeah, my photography, right? So it was like spending time with so many teachers through this project. So adonu irundhu. And what I also realized is when I'm taking photographic through this project specifically, what I also realized is my work is not to photograph. My work is to be the tool between the subject and the viewer, right? So that the viewer can enjoy the subject, right? Through this photograph நீங்கள் பார்த்துட்டு இப்போ இன்டர்வியூ கூப்பிட்றீங்கன்னா யூ என்ஜாய் சீங் தட், ரைட்? அந்த என்ஜாய்மெண்ட்டை உங்களுக்கு கொடுக்கறதுக்கு நான் ஒரு டூலாக இருக்கேன். அதே மாதிரி தான் அந்த மியூசிக்கோட என்ஜாய்மெண்ட் கொடுக்கறதுக்கு இவங்கெல்லாம் ஒரு டூலாக இருக்காங்க. So that is again the next thing that I learned. And the third important thing that I learned is I am not doing photographs. I am not making photographs. I am actually giving a part of my grace that I have got to the world, to the viewer, and that viewer should enjoy that grace. So அதை வந்து நல்ல விதமாக கொடுத்தோன்னா அந்த நல்லா என்ஜாய் பண்ணுவாங்க. அதை வந்து அந்த கிரேஸை வந்து நல்ல பேக்கேஜ் பண்ணி தருவோம்.
What is your definition of art?
See, I don't know. I don't think about all that. I don't think what is the definition of art, what is an art. In fact, you can call me an artist. You don't have to call me an artist. I don't want people. I'm not like a person who want people to call me as an artist, photographer. See, it's all labels. It's all words. That's it. For me, it doesn't make any sense. For me, who I am is Amar Ramesh. This Amar Ramesh, you can call artist, he can call, a Chennai person, or she can call a photographer, somebody else can call businessman, somebody else can call an entrepreneur. These are labels, right, that people give to you. But my own label is I am Amar Ramesh. I am that person. I could be a carpenter today, I could be a photographer today, I could be a plumber tomorrow. I was an IT guy 10 years back. Now I'm a photographer. 10 years from now, I could be something else. So, what I am worried about is not somebody calling me artist, somebody calling me this, right? What I'm worried about is this person better than the person he was yesterday? What is he has been given a talent and put in this world. How is he using this talent to solve a purpose? You make it, worthy for someone, right? So that is what I am thinking about. I'm not thinking about art. I don't want to get into.
Okay.
I don't want to put myself into that box.
Without limitations.
See, if I am a good person, a good soul, I will be a good photographer, I'll be a good plumber, I'll be a good carpenter, I'll be a good entrepreneur, right? And that is what we all should work towards, not towards becoming a artist.
That's nice. So, like, we've seen your work travel through years together now, and we've seen you come up with so many coffee tables, books to carry on the stories to other people, your pictures, your collections, your portraits, all of that. We look forward to seeing much more of your work, and we believe that this would transpire and move on to the next generation and talk about everything that we have had in our homeland to others as well.
Oh, definitely it's going to be. I have no doubt about it, and I'm so positive and hopeful about that. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you all. It's so nice to see a very young and very enthused team around. So it was my pleasure being here.